Good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a long time. I am 28 days post-op, and they say it takes 90 days for full recovery. So I'm getting better, and it's just a slow process. So, at any rate, please keep reaching out. Maybe we'll see you next week in a hybrid mode. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. So I want to do a kind of a quick review of Module 9 and maybe do a problem or two if we have time at the end. Okay, so here's some of the major things. I can summarize it, and this may be a good thing to add to your notes. In Module 9, a quadrilateral, which is a four-sided figure, that's what a quadrilateral is. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram. That's a unique type of four-sided figure. It is a parallelogram if one of these four things are true. In fact, if it's a parallelogram, all four are true. But let's go through the four things. If opposite sides are parallel, okay, well that just means that no matter what the length of the sides are, if the opposite sides are parallel, then you have a parallelogram. So we would denote that like this, with these little arrows that tell us that they're parallel. Another way to determine that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, if opposite sides are congruent. So if we have a picture maybe like this, so it's still a parallelogram, but opposite sides are congruent. Eyes have gotten worse. Opposite sides are congruent. Okay, and then another way to look at this is if, alright, opposite angles are congruent. This angle, that angle. And we don't talk about it in this, but that would also mean that consecutive angles are supplementary. They would add up to be 180, those two. Okay, and then the last one would be that the diagonals bisect each other. So if I have a parallelogram with the diagonals, put them in here, they bisect each other. It's a different color pen. That means this and this are equal, and those are equal. Okay? Now, do we know anything about the point of intersection? No, we don't. Not if it's a parallelogram. Now we get into some more special parallelograms, which we're going to talk about next. Then that does mean some stuff. Okay? So those are the four things. Opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, and the diagonals bisect each other. Let's focus in a little bit. Is that focus pretty good? Not too bad. Okay. All right. Now let's get into some of the special parallelograms. It says we got a rectangle over here. That's one of the more special ones. A rectangle. Most of you know what a rectangle looks like, but let's just get a picture. A rectangle is not a square because it does not have four sides congruent. Here's a rectangle. What is unique about a rectangle? Well, it is a parallelogram. It falls underneath the idea that it's a parallelogram and all the truths about a parallelogram. That opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, and the diagonals bisect each other. So what's unique about a rectangle? That it has four right angles. Another thing that's unique about a rectangle is not only do the diagonals bisect each other, that's true, but that the diagonals are congruent. So when I put this and this, now do they meet at a 90-degree angle? No, they don't. But the diagonals are congruent. So if I have AB CD, I know that AC is congruent to BD. Okay, that's what's true about a rectangle. What about a rhombus? Well, a rhombus kind of just looks like a tilted over square. Square is, of course, the most unique type of picture. If there's a picture of a rhombus, it just is, it's like it was a straight up square and it just tilted over. Like a tilted over barn that hasn't fallen over correctly yet. So are the opposite angles 90 degrees? No. Are they congruent? Yes, because it's a parallelogram. Are the diagonals congruent? No. What is true about the diagonals? Okay, well, in a rhombus, the diagonals bisect each other and they're perpendicular. They bisect each other because that's what they do in a parallelogram. But they also bisect opposite angles, meaning this angle and that angle are congruent, and then this angle and that angle. And since the opposite angles are congruent, that makes this angle and that angle congruent. So that's a rhombus. So what's unique? What's mostly unique about a rhombus? The diagonals are perpendicular. And then the square. Four sides, or four congruent sides, four right angles. Diagonals are congruent, and they're perpendicular, and the diagonals in a square bisect opposite. Basically, everything that's true about a rectangle, everything that's true about a rhombus is also true about a square. I'll try and make a little bit of a bigger square here. Okay, so we know we have four right angles. We know we have four congruent sides, just like a rhombus. Oh, by the way, I didn't say that, but a rhombus has four congruent sides as well. Okay. What about the diagonals? The diagonals, they're congruent. They bisect each other. They're congruent, and they're 90 degrees, and they bisect the angles. So that's 45, 45, 45, 45, all of them. 45, 45, 45, 45. I mean, there's just so much going on there in a square. So a square is a square, a rectangle. It is. But is a rectangle a square? No. All the attributes and qualities of a rectangle fit inside of a square, though. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna post this video, and then I'm gonna create another video that goes over some of the homework assignment. Okay. All right. Again, miss you guys. I hope you're doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe, and I look forward to seeing you again. Okay. Talk to you soon.